I am an Instagram boyfriend, but now that rolled chicken tacos are back at Taco Bell, my hands are tied. Let's just enjoy this moment. Take the picture. The rolled chicken tacos are back with your choice of dips, only at Taco Bell.
This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test.
After a long day, it's really important to have.
This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test. This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does.
Ontario, California. Tony Harrison is the champ this time around, unlike a year ago where he took the title from Jamel Charlo out of Houston. Tail of the tape, both at 29 years old. Harrison is the taller.
How's it going, everybody? Enter the ring here. AJ Rage, one part of Into the Ring. My brother Mighty Mike is at an event tonight, so we won't be able to make it. He'll try to call in a little bit later, but I got the duty tonight. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to do my best. How's that? Wow. What can I say? Already a shocking night of boxing. I mean, absolutely. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of an issue here with my, okay. So, upsets right off the bat. Huge upset. Carlos Balderas. King Carlos against a tough kid from Mexico named Garon. You know, I don't want to say that, you know, one fight is going to define a fighter because it's not. I fully anticipate Carlos, you know, returning stronger than ever. I could tell, you know, I was actually talking with my brother on the line at the time when Carlos lost his fight, and you could see it in Balderas' face. Absolutely devastated for what happened tonight. I'm just like I said, I know there's going to probably be some big decisions made in their camp here. You know, he's going to need a little bit of time to, you know, kind of clear his head and, you know, but don't by any, you know, means think that Carlos Balderas is done. He's a very talented young man with a huge, bright future in front of him. He just, styles make fights. My brother made that comment tonight. Styles make fights, and that's what happens. You know, this is the same guy who, you know, who, like I said, it's like a ring legend in the gyms and some of the ring wars that he's had in sparring sessions with some of the people across Southern California. And, you know, for me and my brother and everybody here at Enter the Ring, you know, to Carlos Balderas, we want to say, you know, just keep your head up. We know you'll be back stronger. And, you know, just keep moving forward. F.E. Ajaba had a bit of a scare. Tough guy who actually trained with Goosen. You know, it just shows you, you know, you can never take a guy for face value or for granted. I mean, the guy looked like he was completely out on his feet, and next thing you know, the guy, if he comes in, and nothing against him. I mean, he did what he had to do tonight, and the other guy was like just way too brave for his own good. And Thomas Tate, I got a little bit of an issue too. I mean, I don't know what he was waiting for. I know he wants the fight to go on and blah 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 whatever, but there's a time when you're going to put a fighter in some danger. So we're about ready to kick off here with the rematch. Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo. It's going to be, I know it's going to be an exciting one. I'll be doing the round by round analysis coverage. If you don't feel like listening to, the people on the actual broadcast, turn it down. Let me kind of do my thing, I guess. I'll do the best I can tonight. So they're showing Jamel Charlo right now. He's coming in with his entourage. He's 4-1-3 in title fights. He's a challenger tonight. So, I mean, he hasn't been put in this situation yet, with the exception when he won the title. He looks like he's absolutely ready for tonight. I hope he knows what's in front of him. I hope he understands Harrison's not going to just hand him the title, because it's not going to happen. I mean, Harrison is, he's a tough guy. And the thing is that, Jamel just, I still feel he's just a little bit too emotional still at this moment in the fight. He just, and you got to kind of at some point let that go. It's like a breakup. You have a bad breakup, and before you can actually go into another relationship, you got to kind of let some of that past go, or you just drag it into the next one, and it's just a recipe for disaster. And this could be a recipe for disaster if Charlo is still holding on to that anger, that confusion, that doubt, that that narcissistic attitude, and carrying that into tonight. I think he's got he would suit himself better. His camp would have suited himself better if they just said, hey, this humbles us a little bit. He was getting kind of a reputation out there, him and his brother, for being a bit difficult to deal with. And everybody knows in the entertainment industry, I don't care if it's an actor, a musician, an athlete, once you become difficult and that word gets out, people don't want to work with you. The opportunities eventually go away. So hopefully Charlo can humble himself a little bit. And if he does lose again tonight, know that it's not the end of his career. The only person who could tell Jamel Charlo it's time to hang it up is Jamel Charlo. So we got Tony Harrison coming in right now. He's got a little rap dude with him. But, Tony's smiling, but, don't get me wrong. Tony's had this very nonchalant, I've been there, done that kind of attitude, just another day at the office. And that's a great attitude to have. But he's also got to realize who he's got in front of him. And he's going to have a determined, angry, hard-hitting Jamel Charlo. Now, to me, Jamel Charlo, I know a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on him and his power. But in reality, Tony Harrison is the bigger hitter. His knockout ratio is 70% compared to Charlo at 49 point something or something like that. So, I mean, and you can't say that Charlo's fought the better opposition, because in reality, it's been Tony Harrison. And Tony Harrison has been in the situation that Charlo's in, but much worse. Tony Harrison, he was stopped by Jared Hurd, and then he had that split decision loss, and then he had that kind of lackluster fight against Ishe Smith going into the fight against Jamel Charlo. So I think they just kind of looked at Tony Harrison as being a guy who had a amateur pedigree, had an above average professional career, and they figured, this is easy pickings. This is somebody, and they ran into the wrong guy. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to continue to say, hey, Tony Harrison, this is controversial. Let me tell you something right now. A lot of decisions have been controversial in 2019. And to call this the biggest most controversial decision in boxing this year is ridiculous. Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous. So this is going to say a lot. About where Tony Harrison is, where Jamel Charlo is. I anticipate fireworks right from the get-go. I think Tony does himself service by being patient. Let Charlo come at him wild. Let him make those mistakes. Take some little bit of the punishment if you have to and stuff. Get through that first round, second round, possibly even third round, and then kind of settle into your pace, into your rhythm. And that's where Charlo's going to get frustrated because he's not landing those big punches he wants to land. Be slick. Be a boxer. Don't get in a punching match because that's where you get caught. That's what happened with Carlos Balderas tonight. Carlos Balderas has all the tools. He could have outboxed that kid every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I mean, you saw it at the end of the fourth round after he was knocked down devastatingly. He landed this 3 or 4 straight jabs, and I'm thinking to myself, when I was talking to my brother, I was like, what is Carlos doing? Why is he punching with this guy? Why is he going down to this guy's level? But those are the things that are going to have to be fixed in Carlos's camp, and I'm very sure it will be fixed. I'm 100% confident. So they're getting ready to do this, so I'll be able to hear a little bit of stuff. But like I said, for licensing rights, us here at Enter the Ring, myself and my brother Mighty Mike, we're ethical. We're not going to infringe on another person's promotion, because it's just the way it is. And you see, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking right now. I'm looking at Jamel Charlo. He's still got that snarl. He's got that snarl, but then he's got that what I call the dead space. You kind of learn that when you're a fighter, and it's almost kind of like this. This can be, I'm pissed. This is the impression I'm putting. I'm pissed, but then really behind that is a little bit of confusion, maybe a little bit of doubt, and I could see that in Jamel. I think he knows that. He's probably went back and watched that fight several times. I know he said to himself that he didn't even have to go back and watch. He has. And there's probably things he saw in it, and he thought to himself, you know what? I could see why they gave that decision. Look what I did here. Look what I did here. Look what I did here. I mean, he missed a lot of punches. And Tony did dominate a lot of those early rounds, and it was close in the mid-rounds. Charlo came on towards the end of the fight, but sometimes that's not enough. Tony was still slick enough to, even in some of the rounds where Charlo looked like he was dominating, Tony came back, and he knows that 15 to 10 second rule. He knows I call it how you close a round, and he knew how to close the round. Getting an update right now from my brother, Mighty Mike. Okay, so we're getting ready right now. Round number 1 coming up right now. Yeah, Charlo's extremely agitated right now. Tony looks a little dry to me. Charlo looks a little more lathered up. He looks like he did a little bit more mitt work back there in the back room. For the warm up. Tony looks a little dry to me. Tony's got to be careful right here, not to get caught early and get caught dry by Jamel right now, because Jamel's going to come after him right now. And anybody in his camp that didn't think that Jamel's going to come after him right now, they're lying to themselves, because he's absolutely going to come after him right now. And here we go, round number 1. Right off the bat, Charlo just comes in and wings a monstrous punch and hits air. So we got, Harrison. He's got Harrison back in the corner, but, Harrison's doing the smart thing. Right away, they kind of tied up. Charlo's looking already for that big, huge punch to just try to put, and right there, Harrison caught him with a quick little hook because Charlo, he's getting wild and sloppy already. I see it already. Harrison's using his jab. He's trying to establish that distance for him and Charlo so that Charlo can do those wild swings. Charlo landed a quick little right to the belt line right now, but came in very wide open. I'm telling you, he's setting himself up. He's got this air where he thinks he can end this fight in one punch, and I'm not saying he can't. He did it against Erickson Lubin, but Tony Harrison's a different fighter than Erickson Lubin. He feints better. He's more complete. And right away, I've already noticed, like I said, Charlo's he's loading up on every punch, and he's already starting to hit gloves, and he's missed a punch. He just missed another wild left and ate a jab. So this is already starting to look, and I understand we're only a few moments into the first round. Tony landed a nice jab right there. It's starting to look like the first fight a little bit, where Charlo's going to have his moments and his spots where he comes in, a bit reckless, a bit wild, looking for that one big punch, to kind of like end the night. And Tony's just kind of patient, he's just kind of jabbing, and he's looking for his spots. He's looking for Charlo to make those mistakes so he can make them pay. He's actually got, Charlo, and Charlo landed a nice jab right there. He would suit himself better if he used that jab more, but he doesn't. He just kind of loads up on his right and his left, and Tony came back with a nice little double jab. But like I said, Tony's being very patient right now. I mean, Tony's fully aware that Charlo, could hurt him. He was hurt in the first fight, so he doesn't want to make a mistake, especially this early on. And actually, Tony came in with a big right hand right now and just barely missed. So, like I said, Charlo's got to be careful because, like I said, Tony Harrison has 70% knockout rate, KO ratio. He's a puncher. He's known as a puncher. He's just a guy he's a rarity. You don't see too many guys who possess. He landed a nice right there on Jamel. It landed, it was kind of grazing, but it landed. So once again, I'm going to talk about that 15 to 10 second. How you close it out? He just landed a nice 1-2 on Charlo. And once again, Tony Harrison closed out the first round. Jamel looked, active during the beginning of the round. Tony Harrison, came on, the 10 to 15 seconds towards the end of the round. And, these are the like I said, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my pin right now. I'm supposed to be scoring. There we go. So, like I said, this is where these are the mistakes that Charlo can't make, and I can already see that whatever he was doing in camp, he's making the same mistakes again. And what I mean by that is just loading up on every punch, So for that first round, I scored that first round. I don't know if I can get my pin to work here. Oh, that sucks. I scored that first round 10-9 for Harrison. So I got it 10-9 right now for Harrison. At least that's my initial score. I'm not saying that's official score because obviously they got their own thing going on. So we're right here in the second round right now. Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo. Once again, Charlo comes in, swings wild, then grabs Tony Harrison. It's just a really weird, whatever his plan is. I don't know, and I don't understand. I don't know why Jack Reese is admonishing Harrison. I think, like I said, I'm a little confused by what Lennox Lewis is saying too. That Jamel's being patient. He's not being patient. Jamel's getting stopped in his tracks. Jamel's trying to basically be the powerful guy, the strong guy, and the aggressive guy. But every time he does that, Tony's making him pay. And Tony just caught him with a big right hand right now. He just caught Charlo with a nice right hand right now. And I don't know why Jack Reese, once again, is talking to Tony Harrison. I don't know what about. What? Did he tell him it was a nice right hand? Big right hand by Tony Harrison, right flush on Charlo. Charlo misses with a huge right hand and gets caught with a Harrison right. I don't know why Jack Reese continues to talk to Tony Harrison. Now, once again, Jermell Charlo hits Harrison behind the back of the head, and it looks like he may have rocked Harrison a little bit. But I'm going to go back to talking about hitting people behind the back of the head. Harrison's not hurt. Charlo's just being wild as usual, and he's not really landing anything huge. And they both traded nice hooks right now. It's kind of tough to say, but I think Charlo might have got a little hurt right there. I think Charlo he kind of stopped his punch output, and Harrison just caught him with another nice little 1-2. So nice body shot by Charlo right there. Another thing you don't see a lot from at least from Jermell, is using doing a little body work, but and it looks like Charlo might be cut too. It looks like he's got a slight cut on his head right now. So it's definitely, like I said, this is definitely going to be. And Harrison comes back. Oh, and Charlo lands a shot and drops Harrison. And that was a mistake. That was what I was telling you about. Tony being lethargic. I mean, at some point he's got to be a little smarter when he backs up. So he got caught, and we still got the time, a few moments here. So round ends. Jermell Charlo. So in a round that Tony Harrison was winning, it swings over to Jermell Charlo. Tony Harrison got knocked down.
It seemed like Harrison was, to your point, Lennox, a bit off balance.
He was off balance. It wasn't a big knockdown or anything like this. He was just kind of off balance and stuff when he went back and he lost his balance. So he wasn't really hurt. Yeah.
But that's what he got from it, see? Because he got him close enough to counter, and he hit him with that good left hook right hand. Tony Harrison should be on the outside boxing and moving and being the mad professor boxer tonight. This is not going to serve him well by sitting there doing this at all with Charlo. The grazing right hand there, you can see Charlo now is finally fired up. He looked like he was just about to start getting frustrated. Put a big hook, grazing right hand.
So right here is the test for Harrison. Charlo's going to come in and try to end it right now because he thinks he's under the impression Harrison is really hurt. I don't think Harrison's that hurt. I think Harrison, and right away Charlo's, he's coming in winging huge monstrous punches and he's missing almost everything. And Harrison's doing the right thing. But I think, we'll see what happens right now. So he's firing shots at Harrison, and once again, like I said, he's not really landing anything. And actually, Charlo just got caught with a nice little uppercut. He's missed almost every one of those punches that he's thrown. Everything. And Harrison's the one coming forward. So, he did land a nice little hook there and he may have rocked Harrison a little bit right there. But I think at this point, Harrison's being a little too patient. There's one thing to be patient, and there's another thing just having a non-output. And he really needs to kind of let his hands go at this point. Charlo missed again. He's missed a lot of punches. I don't know if Harrison's fully recovered from that. He took a pretty hard hit to the back of the head. We'll see, though. Yeah, that's the thing is, a nice straight right hand. Oh, and a left. And a left. I'm sorry, my stream's got a little funky right now. So, oh man. Sorry about that. It looks like I just lost my stream. Oh boy. Give me 1 second. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure what happened there. So, give me one moment, please. I apologize. All right, pull up my other stream real fast. So, it looks like, like I said, I mean, you know, 1 second. Oh, let's see here. So, we got Tony Harrison. Like I said, I mean, the bout is, it's so pretty. I mean, he's made it back to where he was before. So my stream's just starting to come back. I'm trying to get my other one up. There must be something going on with the broadcast over there because every broadcast is kind of freezing up right now, and it's unfortunate, especially a fight like this, But what are you gonna do? Yeah, it's really, really bad right now. I apologize. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to fix this streaming issue and I'll be right back, okay?
Thank you very much, Ali. What adjustments do you want Tony Harrison to make as we start this quarter?
Okay, so we're back here live. We're here in the 4th round. It was a pretty even fight. I'm saying? Tony Harrison's definitely back into the fight right now. They were just talking to Ali Salam, the trainer of Tony Harrison. And Tony's starting to land really good combinations, and he's going to Charlo's body. And that's going to pay dividends later on in the fight, depending on how far long the fight goes. It's once again, it's one of those things where you got Charlo throwing these big punches. He might do 2 or 3 big punches. He doesn't really land any of them. He's actually doing better to the body this fight than I saw him do in the first fight. But then Tony's the more precise puncher. He's landing the crisper punches inside. But I still think Tony needs to let his hands go a little bit more. He's been able to land some big shots on Jermell. He just got caught with the left hook because he comes in very lazy. I don't know why he continues to do that, because that's not Tony Harrison, the way he fights. And now he just caught through a nice, 4 or 5 punch combination on Charlo, and Charlo comes back. It's a really good fight. They're both digging to the body. They're both absolutely digging to the body. Harrison's doing the right thing, though. Every time Charlo comes up to the head, he digs a hook to the body on Charlo. And he just landed another nice hook and an uppercut on Jermell. Landed a nice right hand on Jermell and another uppercut. So this is what I'm talking about. We're 19 seconds left in the round, and Tony Harrison knows how to close a round out. You know, so it just depends on what the referees, the judges are looking at. That was a nice sequence right there by Jermell Charlo. You know, he threw a jab followed by almost like a little up jab and then like a little hook, and it was perfect. I mean, those are the kind of things Jermell Charlo has to do. He can't just go in there and keep throwing these big bombs. I definitely gave that round to Jermell Charlo, even though Tony Harrison had his opportunities. You know, so as of right now, you know, I got it 3 rounds to 1 for Jermell Charlo going into the 5th round.
Crafted using our unique brew pure process. White Claw hard seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it.
You know, I just don't think Tony Harrison is serving himself well by waiting. He's starting to wait a little bit. That patience and that kind of like nonchalant attitude that he's had, you know, for all the pre-fight, you know, lead up, it needs to go away. He needs to. You don't want it to be. We're almost at the midway point, and you don't want to put yourself in an urgent situation. And he's about to put himself in that urgent situation right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I could see it in Jermell Charlo. He's starting to feel those body punches and some of the punches, but like I said, I mean, right now to me, Jermell Charlo's doing what he has to do, and I have him winning this fight right now, going to the 5th round. So here we are right now, 5th round. Total punches thrown, 226 to Charlo, 200 to 149 for Harrison. But look at the accuracy, 57 for Charlo, 48 for Harrison. So you see what I'm talking about? Harrison's accuracy rating he's a lot more accurate puncher. He's not wasting as many punches. So Tony looks like he's a little bit more aggressive this round. But, you know, like I said, I think Jermell has done what he's supposed to do, you know, for the most part. I like that Jermell he's committed to the body and he's staying to the body, and then he comes up to the head for a couple shots, which is good. It's a good plan. It's good tactics. You know? I just wish that Jermell's trainer would teach him how to throw a little bit straighter punch. A little bit straighter punch, and he would have so much, you know, it'd be so much more devastating. You know? You know, so I guess Charlo's people are telling him to kind of like, you know, be wary of things. So definitely Charlo got hit with something, you know, that made him, you know, kind of think second about, you know, doing these wild engagements. And I know his trainer's basically telling him right now conveying the same message to him. I don't like how Tony's putting himself at a distance that's right there, just waiting for Charlo. And when he has Charlo, like right now, he's got him. Now he just landed a big right hand on Jermell right now. You know, Jermell takes a pretty good punch. He really does. You know, I've never seen him like in, you know, extreme serious danger. But Jermell just took another big right hand and a shot to the body. So, and he just took an uppercut and another uppercut that kind of buckled his knees a little bit. But he came back, you know, with the wild uppercut that landed on Tony. But Tony's blocking him pretty good. But I see what his game plan is. He's trying to bring this to a closer where Jermell's not as effective. Jermell's definitely not as effective as Tony is when the fight is close. That inside fighting. Charlo's better when he's got some distance, you know, and he's able to throw those wild looping shots. And Tony's just caught Charlo with a nice body shot, man. That literally lifted his leg, and then caught him with a nice right again. So this is definitely a good round for Tony Harrison right now. You know, with 18 seconds left, it's definitely a round that I feel he's won so far. You know, and Tony's kind of doing it the right way. You know, Jermell might have took a little bit of the round off, but you know he's doing it the right way by just landing, and he just, you know, it's this beautiful jab, right hand, and then he comes right back with the hook to the body. It's absolutely, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous to look at. And I'm gonna tell you now, looking at Charlo's body language walking back to the ring, he's feeling those effects. Now don't get me wrong, so is Tony Harrison. These guys are going at it. So I want to hear what his brother has to say.
Entrance here. I know I've seen mean, you watching every round by round. What have you seen from your brother, and what does he need to do more of?
I see good patience. I just think he needs to get a little bit more aggressive on the outside, but he's doing good right now.
Was the game plan for him to come out here and be a little bit more patient?
It's to be patient, but be aggressive and land the right shots. He's doing good.
He's definitely being aggressive. What did you say to your brother? I saw you backstage in the locker room with him before the fight.
I told him he got to take it to him. He got to take his heart. This dude got a lot of confidence, but he don't know what he's into. So it's super right.
Well, I don't know really what Jamal's talking about.
It should be in May.
You can't be patient and be aggressive. So it's kind of that's kind of like an oxymoron. But okay. Well, here we go. So, with that said, 5 rounds in the book, and Harrison just got himself back in. So I gave that round to Tony Harrison. So we're here in the 6th round for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship between the champion Tony Harrison and so Vegas has got Tony Harrison up 48-46. He's given him 3 straight rounds since the knockdown. So he's more generous towards Tony Harrison than I am. And I think Marcus Vegas is seeing the same thing that a lot of people see, and maybe the judge saw. Charlo's not landing a lot of these punches. A lot of them are just kind of for show. He throws wild punches and it's hitting the arms and the shoulders of Tony, and his elbows. And then Tony comes back with, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 nice crisp punches, And plus, Tony's been coming, for the most part, Tony's been coming forward. He's had Charlo moving backwards. And against Jermell Charlo, that's the right tactic. You can't let him come at you. So no matter if you take the punches or not, you take them on your elbows and whatever, you got to keep Charlo backing up. So he can't load up on those big wild shots. And right now, Jermell's taking these, the infighting is not Jermell's game. Like he just threw, 2 wild, a left, right now, and both of them just landed on the upper part of Tony's head, but it was blocked, mostly by the glove. And now Tony's got Charlo back in the corner, landed a nice little 1-2 and another shot to the body. He's eating Charlo up with the infighting. The infighting is not Jermell Charlo's game. And Tony Harrison is starting to find his range right now with Jermell Charlo, especially with the hook to the body, a la Jaime Munguia, and then right back up to the head. And Jermell's trying to actually copy what Tony's doing, but he just doesn't have the same accuracy or that pop, that crispness that Tony has right now. This is a close round, but I mean, I definitely think Tony's done the better work. See, once again, Jermell winds up with the huge right and just completely missed. I mean, Tony saw that coming a mile away and just met, and then Tony comes back with 2 nice hooks to the body. So as a judge, I mean, you can get tricked by looking at the over aggression and the big flings of Charlo, but what's the end result? You can see that Jermell's, he's loading up for another big shot. And because he waited so long to load up, he let that round go by. And guess what? That's another round in the book for Tony Harrison, in my book. And I'm pretty sure Marcus Vegas is going to feel the same way.
With Domino's new delivery insurance, if your delivery isn't what you expected, make a claim, and we'll make it right.
I noticed you had an issue with your last delivery.
To make up for it, I brought you a medium pizza.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You're welcome. Get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas delivered for $5.99 each.
And put our delivery insurance to the test.
So,
Dominic Brazil there in the audience here in California, heavyweight contender. Just saw Mike McCallum there in the background, the body snatcher. Errol Spence says he wants to go in May. Welterweight champion could be ready in the spring or the summer. And speaking of Detroit royalty, there's the hitman, Tommy Hearns.
Yes, sir. 7-time world champion. I asked him how many champions. I said 3 or 4. He said I had 7 championships. He goes, that's all I wanted.
Tommy Hearns, an all-time great, obviously trained by.
So we're gonna see right now. So we're going into the 7th round right now, and it's, you know, like I said, it's been a good fight. Been a really good fight. So let's see how, I don't know if they're going to show how Marcus Vegas, I scored that round for Tony Harrison, so I've got this fight pretty much. So Vegas gave it to Harrison, so he's got Tony Harrison up 58-55 right now. So Harrison's starting to pull away. On my card, I got it 3-3, but obviously you got to give the extra point to Jamal Charlo for the knockdown in the 2nd round. Oh yeah, this fight's very good. Now, them give the fight to Jamal Charlo, a la what they feel Harrison got, and we'll probably look at a 3rd. So but then again, this fight's in California. The other fight that Tony had was in New York, and I just think we do it better here in California sometimes. So nice little 1-2 by Charlo, but just nothing else, mine. And he just allows Tony to reset and come back in. The one thing I would have liked to see Tony do a little bit more that I didn't see him do a lot tonight was his jab. I wish he would have jabbed a little bit more, but he's committed to the infighting. He knows that he's successful fighting in close with Charlo because Charlo, he likes to wing his punches. Oh, and he just caught Jamel with a big right hand. Jamel's shaking his head, but I think Jamel felt that effect a little bit right now. I think Jamel felt that punch. I think he's got Jamel backing up right now. And Jamel's just trying to counter Tony coming in, is what he's trying to do. He's trying to catch him with like a wild hook coming in and hopefully drop him. And he just caught Charlo again with the right hand and then followed with the short little hook. Well, and that's the one thing. I'll never agree with Brian Kenny, but I'm going to agree with it right now. And that was probably one of them. Charlo's getting very desperate. He threw an uppercut from left field that was just kind of like a, he's getting desperate at this point. And, he's still winging big punches and missing big punches. I don't know what kind of work Jamel did in preparation for this fight. I keep dropping this book. It's driving me nuts. For this fight. You can't continue to keep doing to make the same mistakes over and over again. And he's making the same mistakes he made in the first fight. He waits, then he comes on with big punches when he's he gets set up, but he's waiting too long, and it's another round for Tony Harrison. I don't know where. I don't know, and I don't think Jamel's getting good advice from his corner right now at all. It's almost like they're telling him to be almost like more patient and back. He's got to get into desperate mode right now. I'm not saying go in there and go crazy, but what he's doing right now is not working. I like it that when he started jabbing, I think Jamel's got to think about boxing a little bit more. I think if we box a little bit more, that would confuse Tony a little bit and might turn Tony into the puncher and might create some openings and some opportunities. Because right now, Jamel's just trying to go punch for punch with him. But Tony's keeping in. Every time Tony, when he starts to do that, Tony gets in close on Charlo, and then next thing you know, Jamel doesn't know what to do. And he's still trying to wing big punches from close distance, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He's landing one little one here and there, but it's not doing the damage it would do if Tony was out at the distance that he needs him. And the only way he's going to get him at a distance is by boxing, using his jab, doing something. So.
And here you see Charlo coming in with a good combination, 1, 2, 3, and this is what he needs to do.
Yeah, I agree. Lennox Lewis is about the only one who knows what the hell he's talking about tonight. Other than myself, of course. No, just kidding. Okay, here we go. We're in round number 8. Now, Charlo's, he came out jabbing a little bit and stuff, and that's what I'd like to see more of him. He's actually got a pretty decent jab, but somewhere down the line, somebody told Jamel Charlo, stop boxing, be a puncher. And I understand punchers, they create, excitement, but if you're in there with the guy that's a sharpshooter like Tony Harrison. You can't go in there and just swing wild like he's doing right now. Tony Harrison's going to make a pay. And every round, Charlo's getting hit with a big right hand. And eventually, like I said, I mean, he just missed again with a huge right hand. And Harrison, I think, is starting. I saw him step out on the outside of his foot. I think he's trying to set Charlo up, a la what Wilder did to Ortiz, and he's going to crush him with one of these big right hands right now. I mean, he's already hit him with some big ones, but he's about to catch Charlo coming in. Nice hook. Yeah, Tony is he's just a so much more complete boxer, and you could tell he's done his work in the gym. I'm not saying that Tony Harrison can't still lose this fight, but So I see my son Cosmic Colt over here. Hey, Cosmic Colt, why don't you come over here and talk to me for a second?
Hello, viewers.
My boy Cosmic Colt right here. So Colt, why don't you go ahead and call a little bit of this on here? So we got Jamel Charlo right over here, and that's Tony Harrison.
Let me see. So 8th round.
What do you like? What do you like? What you see from Charlo right now?
I think Charlo, this guy,
Yeah.
he's doing a little bit of stuff to me because
And Tony's starting to showboat a little bit, huh?
he's starting to. And I'm not really hitting, but maybe one of them will get in there, when they start getting into there.
Yeah.
And you remember him, Sharky?
Okay. Okay, so like I said, once again, we're right here in the 8th round and stuff. And, Charlo's still winging the big punches, but Tony Harrison, like I said, I mean, he's the more accurate fighter and stuff. As far as landing, they got landed, 94, 95, one edge to Jamel Charlo. But, Harrison's even starting to showboat a little bit now. Because I think he's thinking to himself, I've been in tougher sparring matches with guys. I've had to work harder because, what do you call it? Jamel Charlo's accuracy rate is horrible. It's one of those situations where you're in the gym and you're sparring, and your trainer tells you, you need to be more patient. You need to know where you're throwing your punches. I almost think sometimes I almost get the impression he's throwing punches with his eyes closed because he's not coming anywhere near the target. He's trying, so. Tony's pulling away. And I know there's people that are going to say, hey, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't know how things work in New York all the time. But in California, one thing I can say, you got to beat the champion. And right now, Tony Harrison's the champion. And he's landing the big telling blows. Now, has he hurt Jamel Charlo? I think he stunned him a couple little times, but nothing major. But Jamel's done a pretty good job of rolling with the punches. But there's definitely a step off on Jamel right now. He's getting hit with, and he's still got that snarl. And I'm trying to understand, at one point is he going to realize you're not going to win this fight with the dirty look, And he's still trying to wind up for that one punch. Now, the only time that's going to work is in the 11th and 12th round when he's got no other options. Then he's going to have to go for the knockout because that's what it looks like it's going to come down to. Harrison's a slick guy. He worked with Emmanuel Stewart for many years out of Kronk Gym. He's actually one of the last fighters to fight with him. He knows the ring war. The ring wars are legendary from Kronk Stables. And, this is a guy who's done work down in Philly, with the Blue Horizon. I mean, he's fought in Mexico. He's done his work. So, my thing is I just want to understand what they're trying to teach him right now at this point, because yeah, he's just at this point now. Jamel's waiting because he knows now, because Tony's making him pay. So this might be another tactic on Jamel. Jamel might be waiting for Tony to come in and he's trying to hopefully catch Tony with something, because I think Charlo's starting to run out of gas. He's expended a lot of energy. So let's see how Marcos Vegas has it scored. So he's got it a little tighter. He gave the last 2 rounds of Charlo. I don't know how he did that. Those are actually probably 2 of the rounds I thought Charlo looked really bad in. So he's got a 76-75 for Harrison still. Some of these guys really confuse me, where they're scoring. I don't know how he could like the work that Charlo's been doing because he's been throwing air punches, but you know. And Harrison's still landing all the accurate punches. He's had Charlo backing up the entire fight. And you got to remember, some judges judge on effective aggressiveness, aggression. And the aggression doesn't mean throwing a lot of punches. It means the guy who's pushing the other guy backwards. So, now, right now, he just had a nice little sequence. And like I said, I mean, I can see where some people can say, hey, Charlo's done something, but he really hasn't done anything in this round. He's landed a couple punches. Tony's landing the big shots. He's the more accurate puncher. Boxing Scene, I just got a message from my brother. Boxing Scene has given almost every round, with the exception to the second round of the knockdown, to Tony Harrison. So this isn't even a close fight, and a lot of people and a lot of other people. And he just caught Charlo with another nice one too. He's beyond being in Charlo's head at this point. So
We're going to stick around right here, keep it here on Fox. We're going to go into the corner of Jamel Charlo as we end this round. Derek James is
and he almost caught Charlo with another big right, and that's the first time I've seen Charlo smile. And I think, I'm not saying, but Jamel's out of options. And don't get me wrong, he still has the ability to end this fight. Don't get me wrong. Jamel Charlo does. He looks very confused right now. There's something wrong too. I definitely see there's a miss. Jamel wants the ice on the back of his neck, which is, it's not out of the norm. But you can tell he's very fatigued. He's felt these punches. I think that body work, those hooks to the body, paid dividends because you see, now his trainer's telling him to control the distance. That was something that should have been said a lot of rounds ago. They're desperate at this point, Charlo. And I'm not going to be one of those people to say things like that, but But what I'm seeing from Charlo's corner right now, and I'm not a guy that says, hey, you need to go out and make big decisions, but I think Jamel Charlo needs a definite, he needs to get with it. He needs new leadership in that corner. He needs a new trainer. He needs somebody else because this guy's got him believing that he's this and he's a knockout puncher. And don't get me wrong, he's got Tony going back a little bit right now, but all the wrong tactics. I think Jamel has the skill and the ability, because he's an athlete, to be a more complete boxer. But I see him falling in that realm of what happened with Adrian Broner, where his output is very sparse. And then when he does, he misses a lot of punches because his accuracy is not there. So he's working against two really bad negatives right now. And the biggest of all the negatives is a very polished, very patient, very well-schooled, old-school veteran in Tony Super Bad Harrison, who is, as I used to say back in the old days, he's getting that, he's starting to float a little bit, When you see a boxer start getting a little lighter on their feet, that's confidence. That's, he's in a rhythm. It's like when you're drumming, You start to get in that rhythm and you start to feel it and stuff. He's feeling it right now. And, Jack Reese hasn't done a bad job, but, he's, whatever.
something we often say. You said it earlier in the night. If you're saying the referee's name around round 10, the referee's doing a good job.
So, Charlo's doing the right thing, but then, he stops. Okay, classic point right there. I wish I could show you guys. Charlo threw a 1-2, completely telegraphed the right hand, and missed both punches. Harrison's not making him pay as much. I think Harrison's taking this round off a little bit and still winning the round. Still controlling the round. But, I mean, it's close. It could be a Charlo round only because of his output, because I think Tony definitely took this round off a little bit, which tells me Tony's going to look to try to close the show. Oh, but he just caught Charlo with a big right. Another big right. Tony does punch very straight, but I'm very surprised how easily Jamel Charlo is to hit with the right hand. Because Tony's not even really, he's just putting it out there. Oh, and he just caught Jamel with another big. And honestly, he kind of made Jamel take a little funky step. And I'm not going to say Jamel. I don't know if Jamel's hurt, but I'm going to say it again. Tony came back. He knows how to close around. The man, that's crafty, man. That's Kronk, man. Close around. I want to give that round to Jamel Charlo because it was a better round for him. But what Tony did, so I'm going to give the round to Charlo. I think it was more of a 10-10 round. So.
This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test.
After a long day, it's really important to have body wash that's cleansing and hydrating for my skin.
Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash rinses clean and rehydrates.
So I'm going to call that a 10-9 round for Charlo. So let's see here. Going into the 11th round. I got it. I don't see how like I said, Boxing Rex got it up right now. They've got Harrison almost winning every single round right now, and that's been the consensus right now through boxing. Is that with the exception of that second round, they haven't really given Jamel a lot. So we're right here, round 11. So we're going to see what's going to happen right now. So these are the championship rounds right here. This is so Jamel comes out, he's doing the right and he actually caught Harrison with a nice little hook. But I just don't know if he's hurting, and Harrison kind of look like, dude, that's all you got. So we're going to see right now, but Harrison's making a big mistake right now. He doesn't want to give Charlo, false confidence. Don't play that game. Don't get in that cat and mouse game with a guy like Jamel Charlo. I just think that's the wrong tactic. That's when you end up getting caught. And believe me, there's going to be some judges out there right now that they know Tony Harrison's winning this fight, but they're looking for an opportunity and give this fight to Jamel Charlo. And a knockdown of Tony Harrison could swing whatever happened before this moment right now.
And he just sensed a break in the action. He could smell it that Charlo had thrown his combination and now needed the second off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Charlo's just throwing the combinations when he should be throwing the combinations and placing them. Being accurate with his punches and not trying to hit his
So,
punches, trying to get around.
like I said, Tony's still coming forward. Another nice. So punches landed. Tony Harrison's landed the more punches. He's landed 120 punches to but Charlo's thrown almost 200 more punches. And Charlo, see, this is what I talked about. He caught Tony Harrison because Tony Harrison was screwing around too much, and he gets caught with the hook. This is what I was saying just moments ago about basically, and he's giving Jack Reese opportunity. This fight could be over right now. Tony Harrison's definitely hurt. Harrison's down. Harrison's down again. This fight's over. And it's Tony Harrison's fault. Why is the commissioner in the ring? I don't know what's going on here. Charlo's acting like he won the fight. It ain't over yet, Charlo. He doesn't realize it's not over yet.
He's got 50 seconds left. Harrison is badly hurt. You can tell he's wobbled. Jack Reese is very close to stopping this fight.
Yeah, Jack Reese is right there ready to stop the fight. So Tony Harrison's got to do something here, or this fight is over. But Jamel kind of blew his wad a little bit, so he's still looking. And he stops the fight.
Jamel Charlo is the champion of the world again.
Okay. Now, I saw what Tony Harrison was trying to do. He was baiting Charlo in because he knew Charlo was gassed. Once again, I'm going to tell you now, terrible work by Jack Reese. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people, some people out there like him, but Jack Reese is a terrible referee. I'm telling you right now, he's terrible. The guy's terrible. Every time I see the guy do something, he's always doing, he picks and chooses his things he does. Now, I don't want to hear Jamel Charlo was stellar. He won the title. The title's back to him, okay? But it's not because of what he did right now. It's what Tony Harrison didn't do. And that's be smart in those last couple rounds. He got lethargic. Like I told you, he got a little light on his feet. So, big mistake by Tony Harrison. Career costing mistake, you know? But, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's boxing. You know, the guy's winning the fight and gives it away. You know? And I'm sure right now,
I'm just saying there's no reason for anybody else to run into that during the count.
and I'm sure, you know, we're gonna hear that, you know, because in reality, I mean, Charlos, the commissioners came in, you know, and this is where I'm going to go back to again. Okay, Jermell Charlo, to me, honestly, this is what I just don't like about the guy. He just can't grow up. He has no respect for this sport. He acts like he dominated every round, and then the first thing he says, he walks up to the corner, up at the thing, and starts yelling at the crowd, F you, F you, I showed you. You showed shit, dude. You showed that you got your ass handed to you for almost every single round and got lucky. You know? You know, the bottom line is this is not an impressive performance by Jermell Charlo at all. No way, shape, or form. And now we're going to have to hear Jermell talk about how he was so dominating. No, he wasn't. He should be a little humble and credit that, you know, he was lucky. He was fortunate that that Tony Harrison didn't have a little bit better of a chin tonight. You know, and you know, and even Tramel's walking up to Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison's, you can see he's devastated. He knows the mistake he made. And Charlo's still acting like he's so agitated. I mean, he's really got some. He's got some issues. So I want to see what happened here. So he actually caught Charlo with the bigger punch, but he got caught at the end of the punch. But like I said, he got lazy. He just got lazy. So I mean.
Yeah, and that hook when it signed was up right hand. Here's the second knockdown. They both leaned in, and bam, Charlo threw that.
You know, but like I said, I mean, good fight. Good fight, entertaining fight. I'm interested to see what Jermell. I don't really want to comment on what he's going to say because I'm pretty much sure what he's going to say right now. And what he's going to say right now is, you know, how he's the man, and you know, this was. He's not going to give any credit to Tony Harrison. You know, he's going to make it look like Tony Harrison hijacked his title, and you know, he handled business. We'll see. You know, it's unfortunate because we're starting to live in an era right now where a lot of the fighters that are looked upon favorably, that are looked up to, are some of the worst human beings. I hate to say it, and I'm not saying that about Jermell Charlo, but Jermell Charlo is definitely not. He's not a guy who he's not a fan-friendly guy. I've been around the guy. You know, he's always got a chip on his shoulder. You know, he thinks like the world owes him something, you know, and it's unfortunate because based on what I saw tonight, Jermell's, you know, even though he's got the title now, I mean, he's very beatable. He's very beatable. But it, you know, like I said, it was a good fight. Most boxing people out there had Harrison winning almost every single round. You know, and of course his brother's pumping him up from behind, telling him, you know, like this guy ain't shit and blah blah blah. You know, these are two guys that really got to come together. Because I'll tell you right now, in my fighting days, or even if I was still fighting today, if I acted like that, my brother would say something to me. And if my brother acted like that, I would say something to him. Because it's just about, you know, it's like that Teofimo Lopez effect. I'm so tired of that, you know, with his dad, you know, his his dad's Street Fighter or whatever, talking about. I'm gonna tell you now. When I hear his Teofimo Lopez's dad, Jr., talk about all his conquests on the streets, I think to myself, you know what? Any place, any time, dude. Seriously, because you don't know shit about boxing. But I'll teach you. I will. I'll teach you. You know, and Teofimo Lopez is going to learn the hard way when he gets in there against Lomachenko. I hate to say it. You know, I don't like to get emotional when it comes to things, but, you know, to me, it doesn't matter if you feel you were cheated of losing your title. Whatever happened, have some class, man. And they just can't show any class. So let's hear what Jamel Charlo has to say.
Well, I know you missed that thing on your shoulder, but boy, did you get it back tonight. And did you get it back the way you said you were going to get it back? I have to ask you, though, you got up on the ropes before the fight was over. You thought it was over. Who told you? Did you see the ref, or was it Lennox who was actually waving you back to tell you to get back? The action's still underway.
That's the second time that happened to me in my career. I thought it was over. I ain't no referee though, so it should have been over on that first knockdown. But hey, I got that belt back. It took me a while. I got it out in the 11, but I didn't leave it up to the judges.
Yeah, he's right back to the way he was before. You know, this guy, dude.
More punching power. We saw you come out aggressive, but he was able to put you against the ropes a lot in this fight. What was happening there? And
Hey, Tony's he's a former champion, and he come to fight. He had a lot on the line. He had pressure on him. I did what I had to do. I went in there, I dictated, I dominated, and I knocked him out.
What? Once again, you know, it's really hard for me to listen to this because
in the second round, the first.
It let him know and me know that the power real, but avoid it or respect it, or they gonna check it.
Are you guys listening to this? Okay.
This was about boxing. It was good boxing. Shout out to my manager for being able to put me back in this thing right away.
Okay, so just let me.
And 2020 gonna be real.
I can't even listen to this guy. He's so ridiculous. Okay, so based on my analysis, Jamel Charlo has learned absolutely nothing on what it takes to be a world champion. He may be the champion again, but he thinks he did everything right tonight. Yeah, he got the end result. You know, it was a lucky punch. He can say whatever he wants. He caught the lucky punch. He didn't even know he landed the punch. He got hit with a better shot, went back, and then he saw Tony was a little bit more hurt. And he's still agitated. I mean, they really got to check these guys. I mean, I like to see about it. I'm not trying to. I'm just, you know, the guy's just so herky-jerky, man. I don't know, man. You know, and for him to say all was dominating. When were you dominating? Because you weren't dominating because in the world of everybody else out there, you were losing this fight.
We did what we had to do. I'm gonna enjoy this Christmas with my family. I'm gonna sit back and we're gonna celebrate and have a good time. He held the title too long. I have to come back and get it.
Congratulations.
No respect whatsoever for his opponent, Tony Harrison. Whatsoever. No respect. You know, and I'm gonna say it again, man. Jamel Charlo, both Charlo brothers. Insult to the sport. I hate to say it. Insult to the sport. And just the way they act. I'm not talking about how they can fight. Their attitude. So we're going to listen to Tony Harrison.
I ain't going to question whatever he saw. He was the better man. I started getting a little lax. Got caught hooked in between hooks. He earned it. I ain't shit. I hate it. He earned it.
So, Tony Harrison, of course. Very humble, very classy. Gave Jamel Charlo his props, said he was a better man. That's a true champion right there. Even in defeat, he's still a better champion than Jamel Charlo is in victory. Because Jamel Charlo hasn't learned how to be not only a champion, he hasn't learned how to be a man and show respect.
Being off a year, the shots he was hitting me with, it wasn't even like they was hurting. It just like my body just taking that year off. My body was just like, you know what I'm saying, what's going on right now? You know what I mean? It was just...
And like I said, you know, I'm pretty much done listening to this. So I'm going to be closing out right now. So, you know, it's been a, you know, like I said, I'm watching Jamel walk back to the ring, back. I'm sorry, to the dressing room, and I mean he's even being confrontational with people. I mean, it's, you know, I hate to say it, but it's not going to end well for Jamel Charlo. He thinks he's got this false sense. If I was his trainer, I'd tell him, listen, man, Jamel, here's the situation, son. We were losing that fight. We were absolutely losing that fight. In the eyes of most people in boxing, he was losing that fight. He dug down deep for whatever. The gods shined upon him, and he landed that punch, and, he ends up winning the fight. He wins his title back. But at the same time, he didn't learn how to be, he still doesn't know how to be a champion because Jermell Charlo doesn't know how to be a man. And how you become a man is by understanding that you got to respect the person across from you. Even if you don't like them, it doesn't matter. You can't make it personal because this isn't personal. This is business. This is boxing. It's a competition. It's not, the Hatfields versus McCoys. And so, you see a guy like Tony Harrison in defeat, and he shows more class than the guy who won the title, and Jermell Charlo. And I understand Jermell's trying. How hard would it have been for Jermell to say, "Hey, you know what? Tony had my number tonight. I was confused. He was putting it on me, but I dug down deep, and I remember what I did in my camp, and God bless me tonight. I got the punch in. I ended things the way I knew I could end it, and stuff like this, and I'm the champion. But I want to give props to Tony Harrison and stuff and look for better things from me. I'm only going to get better from this point. I've learned from my mistakes." Jermell Charlo hasn't learned a damn thing from his mistakes. And he's going to make that mistake again. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to make that mistake again. So, that's with that. 11th round TKO for Jermell Charlo tonight. He reclaims his WBC Super Welterweight Championship over defending champion Tony Harrison in what was an excellent fight. Some of the other fights tonight, in a shocking fight, young rising superstar Carlos King Balderas was shocked against a young upcoming fighter from Mexico and Iran, and that's unfortunate. That's the one that really stung me tonight. Because Carlos he's a much better fighter than that, but and I know the kid's devastated, but I'm sure he'll be back. But all congratulations out to the kid Iran who he came in to fight, and he did exactly what he had to do. And he scored a huge win. So this is a huge step forward in his career. We'll see where he goes from this point on. And I know, don't count out Carlos Balderas. Carlos Balderas will be back stronger than ever. Believe me, he will be back stronger than ever. Efe Ajaba had a little scare in his fight. Got to take your hat off to his opponent, and how the guy fought tonight. The guy, really. And I want to try to say his name right now. My brother's so much better name, but I know I'm going to screw it up. So I'm just going to say that the tough white guy, And he did. The guy was out on his feet, and what was an exciting fight. All the fights. Very good card by Premier Boxing Champions tonight. The fights all lived up to the expectations. I didn't see the fight earlier, but Escondón stopped the undefeated kid from the Philippines. Shocker. It's been a night of shockers. A lot of people are going to look at it and go, well, Jermell Charlo wasn't a shocker. They all felt he was going to win the fight. Not everybody felt that way. And I think it showed tonight why a lot of people felt Tony Harrison had a good shot tonight. Tony Harrison was controlling this fight. Tony Harrison, I felt, at least on my cards, and when I'm looking around the boxing world, a lot of other people had, were conveying the same thing I was saying. They thought Harrison was winning. And he got, like you said, he got a little lackadaisical and he got caught. And congrats. So, that's it, So congratulations to Jermell Charlo on regaining his championship. And we'll see where it goes from here. Tomorrow we'll be attending fights Quai Cannon. I'll get you some information here real quick. So, let's see here. Yeah, so it was like I said, it was a shocking thing with Balderas too. That was just I actually was running a little late on that fight, and I ended up looking at it, and I was like, oh my god, my brother. And it's like that happened, but it's like, tough. Give me one moment here. I'm just trying to pull up. Let's see here. So there's tomorrow, I believe it's Quai Cannon, which is in Industry or Montebello. I'll tell you exactly right now. It's been a long night. So we'll tell you right now what we got going on. Yeah. So the fights are tomorrow, which is December 22nd. It'll be at Quiet Canyon Country Club in Montebello, California. And one of the fighters that is fighting on the card, he's fighting in the super featherweight division. The young man's name is Rene de Azteca Moreno. He comes in the fight at 2-0. He's actually fighting against a tough guy in Lucier de Cerne. But the thing is Moreno is a fighter like Balderas you need to keep your eye on. This is a guy who's was actually originally fighting out of Las Vegas with under Floyd Mayweather Sr. He now fights with famed trainer Robert Alcazar, who trained such fighters as Oscar De La Hoya, amongst others. And the thing is, and John Molina, Jaime Munguia, I mean, the list goes on. Edwin Valario, I can go all night. So it's going to be a really good card. Some good fights. They always put on a good show with that Quiet Canyon. So, if you get your opportunity, make your way down to Montebello, California. The Quiet Canyon, it's being thrown by All Star Boxing, which is Ed Holmes. He usually puts together a pretty good little card. So, if you haven't got your complete boxing fix like me, it's got to be boxing 24/7. I'll see you tomorrow and the Quiet Canyon in Montebello. So once again, it was a wonderful night. We want to thank everybody for viewing. And once again, congratulations to Jamel Charlo on regaining his WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Everybody have a wonderful night. Have a safe night. And we'll see you tomorrow at the Quiet Canyon. Rene Moreno, the Azteca. Good night, everybody.